and I am the host. Pageantry Now is all about positive pageantry and being able to highlight the positive things that happen through pageantry on a regular basis, with men and women trying to make a difference using a crown or a sash. A lot of times on the news or in social media, you'll see the blooper from a pageant from the day before, or you'll hear the controversial question that was answered on stage, or you see social media, or you'll see TV shows that are reality TV that are not necessarily showing the better parts of what pageantry is all about. So our show is being able to highlight the biggest pageant systems to the smallest pageant systems, and really give an opportunity to give their crown a microphone and to be able to share what they're doing to make a difference in their areas. It might be locally, it might be on a state by state or by region, or it could be by a country, or it could be international, just depending on the system that they're representing. So with that being said, if you haven't already, please make sure that you fan us and that you invite your friends and your fans to be part of our show as well and to join our family. Additionally, we do have a Facebook page, we have Instagram, we have YouTube, and we also have Snapchat at PageantryNOW. So look for us there. And then we do our shows every Sunday at 5 p.m. With special shows throughout the week, depending on whom we might have on the show. So with that being said, again, we're looking for our crownies. We call our fans crownies, or if our crownies are in the house, please make sure that you say hi, make sure that you give us likes, make sure that you share us. And again, if this is the first time that you joined the show, thank you for being here. Make sure that you fan us. Crownies in the house! Thanks, Kens! And we're going to go ahead and start with our special guest of the evening. Hopefully, we'll be able to get her to guest easily. We've been having some technical issues the last couple of weeks with getting started. And it worked! Yay! Hooray! How are you, my love?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are.
My name is Tiffany Purnell. I am currently Mrs. Tennessee USA Worldwide, and I will be competing for the title of Mrs. USA Worldwide in July in Omaha, Nebraska.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Thank you for being here. We're so happy to have you as a guest. So not only is Tiffany a title holder, but she also is a host of her own show on Blog Talk Radio called Sassversations. So if you are a pageant title holder and you are looking to possibly be on her show, so if you want to go ahead and share that, Tiffany.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Go ahead and share Sassversations and tell us about it and how it got started.
Yes, I am a host on Sassversations. I started the show about a few months ago, and I have a lovely co-host by the name of Roseanne Plant. She is Ms. Worldwide. Hey, Roseanne, if you're watching, I just love her. And we just love hosting Sassversations because it's basically a show for title holders. It's to get their platform out there into the community, and so people all around the world can know about their platforms. And I believe in celebrating women who come from different pageant systems, because I believe that we should uplift women as queens.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's really where our show started from as well. I mean, that's what we're all about, is being able, hey, Caitlin, thank you, Mackenzie. I appreciate it. Again, if this is your first time joining us, please fan us and share us. We're trying to get to 30 shares or 30 captures. Mm-hmm. So if you like what you see, share us, capture the moments. We are really trying to get to the next level and being, the next step to being partnered. So please do. We appreciate that. And then, all right. So tell me, Tiffany, a little bit about your platform. For those of you that don't know, a platform is what you during your reign as a title holder. So tell us a little bit about your platform, Tiff.
My platform is empowering young girls and women. I'm a school teacher, and as a school teacher, I see a lot of girls with low self-esteem, and their low self-esteem leads to them having low grades. It leads to them bullying others. It leads to them being bullied themselves. And I really had to do something about that. That's why I started Sash, SASH stands for Students Against Self-Hatred. And with SASH, I meet with these girls and I do self-esteem building activities. I even have other title holders to come and talk with the girls and do self-esteem building activities with the girls as well. And all of the teachers at the school at which I started the organization are just so glad to have the organization at the school, because they can really see the difference that SASH has made in these young girls' lives, because most of these young girls, they did not have positive role models at their homes. And so, I am the positive role model. Everyone at my school loves and knows Mrs. Purnell, and I get many hugs and many letters, and everyone, really every girl wants to be in SASH. I do have a few boys who ask about being in SASH, but I just politely tell them, SASH is for girls, but I'm trying to start an organization for young men to uplift the young men as well at my school. But SASH, it started a few years ago at the school at which I teach, but now it's just so much bigger. I started SASH about 3 years ago, but now I have also started the SASH Ambassador Program. I really want to expand SASH so more girls, across the country and across other countries as well could experience what my SASH girls are experiencing. So with the SASH Ambassador Program, I have women and young girls from all over America to hold meetings in their own communities with groups of girls. And at the meetings, they do self-esteem building activities. And I even have a police officer who is a SASH ambassador, and she is so excited to get started because being a police officer, you know many young girls in your community who could use your help. And she's using that to her advantage. I'm so glad to have her as a SASH ambassador. I have SASH ambassadors in Utah. I have a few in Nebraska. I have a few in Mississippi. And of course, I have some in Tennessee. And I'm really interested in, getting more SASH ambassadors, because my goal is to empower as many young girls as I can, because, low self-esteem starts at a young age. Right. It starts at the tender age of 7. And I just really want to do something about that.
No, that's fantastic. Well, and one of the things that I was going to say, I was thinking in my brain, hey, you live in Nebraska, Caitlin? Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Caitlin.
Oh, and Aiden, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. It was very kind of you to be so nice about what you're saying. So we're going to give you some kindness so that you know that you're loved and you're appreciated. So we appreciate you being here. And Mackenzie, thank you so much for always being the big sister on the show and being able to help support us. So we appreciate that. I was thinking one of the things that maybe you could call your boys heroes.
Yes, that's good, because I was actually working with a male teacher at the school to try to get an organization for boys as well. And, he left because he had to go to another school because he coaches football. And so I believe he went to the middle school. And so now I'm trying to find a brave male teacher at the school to start an organization for boys. And it does take time. It takes your time, but it's time well spent, because they just do not realize the impact that they will have on those young boys' lives. And I mean, I'm honestly telling you, I have had a great impact on these young girls, and they will never forget me. And, I feel that I can be that positive role model. If they never ever have a positive role model in their life again, I mean, I think I made that difference for them.
Maybe you could talk about partnering with your local police department, see if maybe one of the community service police officers could become the partner for the boys program. Wouldn't that be awesome if you could get someone that could actually help with that?
That's a lovely idea. I've never even thought about that. But I could do that, through my current SASH ambassador, because of course she's a police officer.
There you go.
She could speak to, the other police officers about that, the male police officers. And I really think that, that would be good for them to see positive police officers, I think that would really be good for them, because I really think they need that. They need to see police officers, who, I guess, police officers do good things in their communities, but They do need to see that positive, I guess, they need to have
role model. They need to feel like they've got someone that they can go to, because that's one of the challenges that we have, just like with pageantry, is that that social media idea of, you know, like I said, the blooper that you see on stage, or the incorrectly answered question, which at the end of the day, questions on pageants are your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. So there's no wrong answer, just so that everybody knows. But I think that one of the things with, especially, to have, you know, strong role models, and certainly not strong police officer role models. So wouldn't that be wonderful if you could take the partnership and be able to do it so that these boys have somebody to look up to? And it works too. A role model that's a police officer, but it's going to help them as they get older, especially if your demographic is like my demographic, where a lot of the children are from single family homes, or they don't have a strong role model, male role model in their home already, that, or their parents are both working, whatever the situation is, that this gives them somebody that they trust within the community that they can look up to. So sorry, I'm just thinking out loud.
No, I love it. I think that's a wonderful idea. And honestly, you know, the demographic of the boys at the school which I teach, could really benefit from that. And I think they would love it.
No, that's fantastic. So there you go. See, you never, what bridges can you build through pageantry? Something that, I mean, literally this just came out in the show. It wasn't planned. So, but wouldn't it be fantastic if we could be able to help build another program for you to be able to help, you know, and I think our platforms are very similar, because mine is based on the body image movement. So it's about loving your body and loving who you are. And it still goes to that same idea of raising self-esteem and understanding that from a very young age, we're thrown images and ideas that we're not good enough. So that concept of being able to love who you are, love your body, embrace your body, I think is so important. So I get where you're coming from. I absolutely think it's fantastic. So that's awesome. All right. So tell me a little bit about the worldwide system that you are going to be competing for, and then your title, and just a little bit about the areas of competition that are in the pageant. So.
Well, when I go to nationals in July, which I am extremely excited about, I will be competing in fitness, evening wear, and interview. Interview is 50% of the score. Fitness is 25%, and evening gown is 25%. And what I love about the worldwide pageant system is that it's platform based. Right. It is truly platform based, and you know, there is a pageant system for everyone out there. Do not let anyone tell you.
No, do not.
Because that is not true. And, you know, because I have, you know, built my platform up over the years, I wanted to join a system where my platform will be truly celebrated and appreciated.
Right.
And with the worldwide system, that's 50% of your score. You have to have a platform. And so I feel like I fit in perfectly with that system. And their motto of this system is uniting women worldwide through inspiration, integrity, and beauty. And I just love their motto, because honestly, the title holders of the Worldwide United System, they are amazing. Let me tell you, these women, they are not stay-at-home moms. They are lawyers. They are nurses. They are school administrators. They are women who are actually making a difference in their communities. And, you know, that's what I love about them. Me, myself, I am an educator. I'm getting my doctorate degree in education.
Wow.
I'm the founder of SASH, Students Against Self-Hatred. And I feel that I'm also doing a lot in my community. I just feel like it's just a fit, you know. And the title holders, they're so genuine. They want to help you. They help all the contestants. The director is amazing. And it's just truly a sisterhood. I have never, ever in my life experienced the pageant system like the Worldwide United Pageant System before. And I have competed in other systems, and there's nothing wrong with the other systems that I have competed in, but I'm just here to tell you, the sisterhood that's in Worldwide United is just something that is unexplainable. And I love it. I truly do. Even the contestants who I'm competing against, we talk. I'm going to have a few of them on my show on Sash Conversations. And I just view them as being my friends.
No, then that's really what I mean. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I was at an appearance, and you and I have talked about this a little bit too. Is that there's this weird step. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Ken's, do me a favor. Try logging out and then come back in, and see if it'll let you share it. But there's this weird step for those of you that don't understand. There are teen pageants. There are Miss Pageants, meaning you are. Teen is under the age of 19 usually, or up to 19. Miss is usually 19 to 28-ish, depending on what system you're in. And then there's Ms, meaning that you're still not married, but you're older than a Miss. Not to be ageist, but that's typically the way it is. And then Mrs. Pageant. So Mrs., you could be 18 and be Mrs., but you'd still be in a Mrs. Pageant because you're married, because the Miss Pageants are for unmarried with no children. And Ms. are unmarried, possibly with children or without, so it doesn't matter. But there's that step kind of from where you go from competing in Miss, M-I-S-S, to Ms., M-S, and Mrs., where I think that the competition changes. The focus of what you are focusing on isn't necessarily you. It becomes your community. It becomes your platform. It becomes, building relationships. Do you feel that that's the same way with you? Because I know you're in that kind of weird place right now, making that step. So, but do you see that that's kind of the difference between the two, or what do you think?
I believe it can be. For me, I am almost 30 years old. I'll be 30 on March the 12th. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to me. So I do believe that Mrs. Pageants, is all about celebrating the family. It's all about celebrating the accomplishments of a woman. And, I think that a teenager who has accomplishments are wonderful. But when you're a woman, and, you have a husband, you have a career, you have an organization, you have your friends, you have your family, you have everything else. It just makes a difference because you're trying to juggle all of that. Right. And, sometimes hard, but if you're passionate about something, you'll find a way to juggle it. You will. So there is a difference between Miss and Mrs.
Yeah, no, and I think it's important to try to make that. I mean, and it's not to say, there are plenty of Mrs. Pageants that I know that the delegates are in their 20s. Mm-hmm. And then I know Mrs. Pageants where the delegates are, in their 40s or 50s. So it really just depends on where you're at. So the idea is that you try to find the system that works best for you. So that's one of the things that you and I have talked about too, is trying to make sure that, you are able to look at the different systems, look at the different, because it's not just for everybody else that doesn't know. There isn't just Miss Universe. There isn't just Miss America. There isn't just Miss USA, or Miss International. There are several other systems. They have like the top 6 that I think are the big ones. So United States, America, USA, Universe, International, Grand, gosh, I could keep on going. Galaxy. But you have to find the one that works best for you, and that's not always something that you're going to be able to look at, and be able to, look at a website and go, oh yeah, that's the crown I want to wear, because you can't judge it by your crown.
Exactly.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes. I'm not going to lie. I still want to do the Galaxy pageant because I really like their crown, but I love what they stand for too. I think they've got a great system, and I've done a lot of background research on them too. So just because you're wearing a sparkly doesn't mean that's the right title for you. That you've got to find what's going to work for you, and how it's going to work with your schedule, and the expectations, and is what they're saying the same types of things that are what your mission is. Are you looking to promote yourself and your platform, Or are they looking for you to be a model, or are they looking for you to be able to, go anywhere and make a difference? So, anyways. So, pageants are different just depending on where you go. So there you go.
Exactly.
All right. So how long have you been competing in pageants?
I would say I have been competing in pageants for about 4 years.
Okay. And what made you decide to compete in a pageant?
Well, honestly, me living in Jackson, Tennessee, the home of the Miss Tennessee pageant, I have really always wanted to compete in pageants, but I do not have a talent. And so, they kept me from competing in the Miss Tennessee organization system. But when I got married, actually I realized that Mrs. Pageants exist. And let me tell you how I realized how they exist. Well, one day I was watching a television show called Game of Crowns. It's about married women who compete in pageants. I said, what? Married women can compete in pageants? And so I Googled Mrs. Pageants, and it was just on from there. I was like, okay, so I'm going to do this. So I lost about 50 pounds, and it's all about, in pageantry, it's all about self-growth. So, I did everything I could do to, grow as a person. I did my research, and I competed in a few local Mrs. Pageants. Then I competed in Mrs. Tennessee America. I won most photogenic there, and I competed in the Mrs. Tennessee International. I won the Community Service Award, and I won People's Choice Award. So
really?
Yes.
That's awesome. I mean, honestly, that's like, honestly, I look at it like those are the ones that are meaningful to you.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, you don't necessarily have to walk away with a crown if you walk away with an experience that are all about, what you're about. And what about, what your philosophies are about. So for you, going out and doing community service is what you're all about being positive is what you're all about. So I think that's super important that, that you're awesome and that you were recognized for being awesome and that you were recognized for going out and making a difference. And then through your quest, now you've come across the Worldwide United system.
Yes.
And I know you totally feel that this is the right place for you because of the sisterhood, but because of the community service, right?
Yes. Now, this system is truly, truly in my heart because, like I said, it's platform-based. It's about what you do in your community. And there are a few other pageants that are platform-based, but I really do truly feel that this one is 100% like platform based. They want title holders who are beautiful on the inside and outside, and who are not afraid to make a difference in their community, who stands for something, and who truly lives out their platform. And I just think it's amazing.
No, I think it too. So being that you're married, how does your husband feel about you competing in pageants, and having to split his time, because that also becomes less time that you guys have together. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, okay, I'm going to be honest. My husband is not a fan of pageantry. He just isn't, he supports me 100% because I am his queen and he is my king. But at the same time, if he could find another hobby for me, he would. He thinks that pageantry is very expensive, and which it can be. But he has also saw how I have grown through pageantry. I think he likes that part of it. Because he realizes, hey, pageantry has really changed her for the better. And, a lot of people do not realize that. People don't realize that you grow through pageantry. I mean, honestly, whenever you compete for a title, there's only one woman or one girl who's going home with the crown. Right. But it's about the journey. It's the journey that you take to get to there. And that's the most important, because my last couple of pageants, I did not walk away with the crown, but I have walked away with so much more. And a lot of people say, well, doesn't pageants make you feel less confident because you didn't win? No, baby, that's not true. I am more confident because I feel like I have found myself, through my journey of pageantry. And I guess,
Right.
I just want more people to realize that.
No, it's true. Okay, Jennifer, I gotta give a shout out to Jennifer. Jennifer, thank you for being here. Ken's, I don't know why it's not letting you share, but I appreciate you being the cheerleader in the background, so I appreciate that. For those of you that are just joining us, this is Pageantry Now, and we are live with Tiffany Purnell. She is Mrs. Tennessee USA Worldwide. I am Stacy, your host for Pageantry Now, and I'm the Elite United Nations Ambassador. Oh, Mackenzie's asking questions. So Jen is also a reporter for Crown Talk. So she's on right now. So we're happy to have her. I haven't seen her in a little while. So I don't know if you're Crown Talk with Burgundy. I don't know if you're familiar with Crown Talk. I don't know if you've ever met Burgundy, but Jennifer's one of her title holders as well as one of her reporters. So she's been on the show. I know. Oh, you were doing a play? I got something. Oh, yay. Thank you very much. Jennifer wants to know what your platform is. I know that you told us already, but please share again so that we are familiar with your platform. So
No, I would love to, because I love talking about it. My platform involves empowering young girls and women. I founded an organization called SASH, Students Against Self-Hatred. And with SASH, I meet with groups of young girls and I do self-esteem building activities with them. And at the end of every year in April, we have our annual Little Miss Sash pageant. And at the Little Miss Sash pageant, I always tell the pageant judges to choose the girl who is the most confident. Because the girl who is the most confident really represents Sash. Because the goal of Sash is to help make these girls realize their worth and to help to make them realize that they are beautiful. And then I also have the Sash Ambassador program, which is a part of SASH. And with the SASH Ambassador program, women all over the country, and even in other countries, can meet with groups of young girls and do self-esteem building activities with them as well. My goal is just really to uplift young girls because honestly, and we can be honest, there is so much in the media and everywhere that's trying to tear women and young girls down. And
Amen.
When you see this, it hurts, especially as a teacher. It hurts so bad to see that. It just does. And I just had to do something about it. When you see something that's wrong and if you can make a change, make the change.
Absolutely. Yay! And we're so happy. We're happy that you're trying to be that positive person because there's so much that goes on right now with social media that has a negative impact on us. And I know that a lot of the streams are changing and you can see it in pageantry, you can see it in advertising, but there's so much that's thrown at us about specific images that we're supposed to be in specific ways that we're supposed to be. When at the end of the day, my belief is that I always say we're perfectly imperfect. We're made just the way we're supposed to be, and we need to embrace that. But it's hard. It's hard. And then there's bullying that comes with that too. It's really easy for us to have, especially with, tweens and teens, to be online bullying people. I mean, we see it here in the chat where people will come on and start, saying inappropriate things. And I'm like, oh, clearly you haven't had a hug today. I'm so sorry. How can I make you feel better about you? Because it's true. They really, thank you, Kens. It's true. It's like they're trying to elicit a negative response out of you. And at the end of the day, this is about being positive and uplifting people. And that's what you're trying to do too. And I'm sure that you see that also through the program, is that as you start to see the confidence grow, as you start to see them you get stronger with who they are, that you're able to see them be, warriors in the war for being positive and being able to make social change at a very young age. So
yes.
Yeah, when I give them a positive response, they freeze and go, "Oh, what?" But it's true. I mean, when I speak about bullying, which I do speak about bullying. In fact, we used to one of the people that used to be a regular on the show has an anti-bullying international nonprofit. That's what he does. Oh. And so he used to come on often on the show. And, so we would do a lot of shows about bullying and about how there are negative effects of it. And our show took a really dramatic turn really fast because people were coming to us for advice on how to deal with bullying, because we had this platform where they felt comfortable and they felt that it was positive for them to be able to, share what was going on and how to get advice. And we're like, we're not an advice show, but we appreciate you. And here's a place where you can go to get help. And, but that same idea still runs through this, is that it's very pervasive. When you've got low self-esteem, mm-hmm. it's really easy to be a victim. Mm-hmm. And for the smallest attack to become dramatic and to have a huge effect. So by raising these children up and giving them something positive to look at, you're actually changing the whole, community of where you live. So that's important. Mm-hmm. I didn't ask you what age and grade do you teach?
I teach third grade, and I have been teaching for 5 years now. My first 4 years I taught second. Now I teach third grade, and I was currently awarded the Teacher of the Year for our school district, and I'm so excited about that because I feel like people are actually seeing my hard work. Because every day when you go into that classroom, sometimes teachers get discouraged because they feel that no one is seeing what the impact that they are making on these kids. But when you get the Teacher of the Year award, it's just like, it's like getting a Grammy. It's really like a Grammy for teachers, or an Academy Award, or, an Oscar. That's what it feels like. Right. And I'm just so excited and ecstatic about that.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you.
No, I mean, it's important to feel like the hard work that you're doing is making a difference. Thank you, Melon. We appreciate it. Please fan us if you haven't, and share us. Please share with your fans so that we can get more people on and have us view us more often. We do shows every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we appreciate it. Oh, so you got fans too, Tiff. There you go. I keep laughing because when you move, your crown kind of the little sparklies that you put on pictures, but it actually shows up. So every time you kind of make this one of the sideways turns, it picks it up in the light, and I'm just like, yeah, that light is awesome, girl. All right, so how do you deal with the negative effects of pageantry? I mean, because there are some. Mm-hmm. So how do you combat that?
Well, I think especially when let me ask, is my crown on crooked? Because it looks like it's on crooked.
Yeah, it's this way. So go the opposite direction.
So hard in this.
And it doesn't help because the computer puts it the opposite direction. Oh, there's that light. Jealous.
I love my light.
I know. I'm jealous.
Well, I think when I was competing, when I first started competing about 4 years ago, I think the most negative thing about pageantry for me was that I would let other people get into my head. And as I became more confident, I realized that you are your biggest competitor. I just feel like in pageantry a lot, we just let others get into our heads, whether it's other contestants or whoever. And I just feel that's the wrong thing to do because you have to look at yourself. You are competing against yourself, and you're not competing against anyone else at the end of the day. And I just really think sometimes that's a negative part of pageantry. And sometimes if we're not careful, we can let that affect our self-esteem, and it can lead us to having low self-esteem about ourselves. But that's not what pageantry is about. I feel like that's the opposite of what pageantry is supposed to do. So I think that's the most negative thing that I have experienced. And that was years ago when I first started to compete, because when you, like I told you, when you first start to compete, you don't you don't really know a lot sometimes. And, it takes those experiences to really just change you. So I guess that was the most negative thing.
There you go. But you know what? You overcame it and you realized, I mean, that's one thing about pageantry is it is subjective. You are putting yourself in a situation where you are being judged.
Yeah.
And you can't really take some of that to heart. And it's hard to kind of go, all right, I'm the best me I'm going to be. Maybe it wasn't my turn to have this crown for whatever reason it is. And that's, a lot of people look at me and go, do you really believe that? I'm like, oh yeah, it's happened to me many times. It's happened to me where I wasn't the winner and there was a reason. There was another opportunity that came up. There was another crown that was my crown that I just didn't know it yet. So there you go. Mackenzie says, if you were president one day, what would be your first action in office?
Well, honestly, I would do something to help the Title I schools. For those of you who do not know, Title I schools are schools that are in poverty. Most of the kids receive free and reduced lunching. So I would do something to give those schools more resources so they can be successful, so those kids can be successful and they end up graduating and become great people in the society. So really, I just feel that, a lot of the schools need an overhaul. But I am blessed. I work at a school where we are a school that most of the kids, they are not well off. But at the same time, the teachers work very hard to make sure that the kids succeed. And that's what I like about my school. And I feel that we need to reform education in America.
In general. There's a lot of things that need to reform in the United States, so I agree. Oh my goodness. Don't get us started on that, Mackenzie. It was a good question. It was. Keep them coming. Just let us know. If anybody else wants to ask a question of Tiffany, please do so. If you're just joining us right now, feel free to fan us if you'd like to ask a question of Tiffany, and it's appropriate, bearing in mind that we have 13-year-olds that are watching, that it's appropriate. I will ask the question out loud. If it's not appropriate, I won't ask your question. So there you go. Okay, so but also make sure you fan us. Please capture moments in 2-year-olds. Mackenzie, you're not 2. My goodness, you have a great vocabulary for a 2-year-old, and the fine motor coordination to type is amazing. So there you go. All right, so what are your thoughts on women or girls getting plastic surgery to do a pageant? It's a great question.
Honestly, I feel that if that's going to make you happier, do it. A lot of people feel that if you're getting plastic surgery to do a pageant, you are cheating. I don't necessarily think so. Because honestly, going into a pageant, you have to be your best self. And if you think a nose job or getting any type of other job is going to make you your best self, go ahead and do it.
I agree. The way I look at it is, if you're going to spend $10,000 on a gown because it makes you feel like a princess, what's the difference between spending $10,000 on a gown as opposed to, getting something fixed that will make you feel more comfortable and more confident the way you are?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's about being the best you.
Yes. I agree, 100%.
And a lot of people don't necessarily look at it that way. There are a lot of people that have low self-esteem issues, and something that to us may seem very minor is a very big issue for them. And if it's something, I mean, and not to say that plastic surgery is simple. It's not. I mean, anybody that knows anything about surgery, actually, if you don't know anything about plastic surgery, it is a long, drawn-out process that is extremely painful. So just for anybody that's thinking about it, make sure you do your research. Because I know plenty of people that have, had plastic surgery for whatever reason, thinking that it was going to make them feel better about themselves, and then it didn't. So just make sure that you go into it with the understanding that, you are trying to be the best you can be. If you're at that place where you're comfortable and confident, and it's this one particular thing that's really holding you back from being the best person that you are, then do it. But don't think that plastic surgery is a quick fix. I know plenty of women who have had liposuction that go through the process of having liposuction, and, you know, it's painful and it's a long recovery process afterwards. And then, you know, a year later, they've gained back all of the weight and they still aren't happy with themselves. So it's kind of one of those things that you've got to make sure that you already are at a good place emotionally. And a good plastic surgeon will make sure that you're at that place before they let you do it anyways. So that's an important thing. I'm sorry. And not all girls in pageants get plastic surgery. Trust me.
Exactly. That's true.
Everyone thinks that everybody that competes in pageants or anybody that you see on TV has had some kind of plastic surgery. That is not true. I mean, I had plastic surgery, but I had plastic surgery to put my face back together after I got punched in the face and had to have reconstructive surgery. So that was a real reason to have plastic surgery. Oh, you did not know that, did you, Tiffany?
No, I didn't. Mm-mm.
That's how I got into pageants.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in a domestic violence situation when I was 16, and I was punched in the face, and my cheek was sliced open, and I had to have surgery to be able to put my cheek back together. And so to raise my self-esteem, my mom put me in a pageant. Probably not the best decision when I was 16 and 4 months out of plastic surgery to put me in a pageant. But I placed first runner-up, which who would have thought? I mean, who would have thought? I mean, I look back and I look at the pictures and I go, really? Are you serious? But you know, that put me on this path now where I would never have gotten to where I am now and doing what I'm doing now if it hadn't have been for that moment. So even at that point, maybe it wasn't the right decision for me and I wasn't doing it for the right reasons. Eventually, pageantry became the right thing for me. So, you know, you never know. So, there you go. If you had a chance to live your life all over again, what part of your life would you change, if anything?
Well, I always said that I wish that I had majored in education when I was getting my undergraduate degree. Because my undergraduate degree is in political science. I had once thought that I wanted to be an attorney, but I realized that's not really what I want to do. So I just decided to get my master's degree in education and become a teacher. And honestly, the reason why I wished I had done that earlier was because I feel that I would be a principal by now. You know, I feel like I would have a lot of that experience under my belt, and I could be in administration. And because that's what I really want to do. I want to be in administration and be a college professor. I have taught a college class before. I taught a college class at a college in my town. It was on classroom management, and I just loved it. Let me tell you, I love being a college professor. It's so flexible, and you don't have to worry. I mean, it gives you so much flexibility, and I just loved it, and I really felt like my students really wanted to be there. I mean, they're paying to be there. So, and they just loved my class, and I loved them. And honestly, that's what I want to be. I want to be a college professor and a school administrator. So I'm excited about that career path because I believe that if I work hard enough, I will be there.
Well, and you don't necessarily have to go back and change your life because you're still able to go forward and do that. So just because, I can speak for myself because my original major was similar to you, international relations. I was going in to become an international attorney. I got accepted to a very prestigious law school in Massachusetts.
Oh.
And then called my dad and went, I don't want to do this. I'm like, I want to become a teacher, which is what I had always been passionate about. It's what I'd always wanted to do. So, I don't know, 10 years later, I went back and finished my bachelor's in education. And then when I did my internship, I hated it. I hated being in a classroom.
Yeah.
It was just, the same 30 kids all the time. And at that point, I still, I was teaching gymnastics. So in my brain, and I was teaching preschool gymnastics. I was very specialized. It was for children under the age of 6. And I found that what I was doing was making a bigger statement because I touched so many more children's lives, on a weekly basis. If you've got the same 30 kids, yes, you can make a huge difference. And every year, those 30 kids change. But in that particular situation, I had, 8 new students every 45 minutes. And I had that, 6 days a week, for 7 hours a day. So, in my bigger plan, I went through and then I got my master's in therapy and behavior modification. So now do I do it? I mean, I use it in my classroom, yes. But again, I still have a gymnastics company. I still own a gymnastics company. We're just education based. It's totally different than regular gymnastics classes because we really take into consideration a holistic child effect. So we look at all the different modalities of learning. So it's visual, it's auditory, it's kinesthetic, they're constantly moving. So there's crowd control. It's all of the things that I learned in school, but put into a gymnastics class. So there you go. Certainly did not think in my 20s that this would be what I was doing in my 50s. But, I think that your path may change and what you think your goals are.
I agree.
Certainly, they change and they evolve. I don't even think that they change. I think they evolve. As you evolve as a person, what your true purpose is evolves with you. So, so you will not change your bachelor's. You're just changing the expectation after your bachelor's. So
I like that. I live with that.
All right. So what's been your favorite part about pageantry?
My favorite part, I would say, is and I know I keep saying this, but it just is my self-growth. Honestly, without pageantry, I probably would weigh about 60 or 70 more pounds than I weigh now. I don't even know if I would have started Sash because I don't know if I would have I don't even know how to put it. I don't know if I just feel that pageantry has just changed me for the better. It has made me more ambitious. It has made me more organized. It has really just changed my life. It's made me healthier mentally and physically. Because when you're doing pageants, you really have to dig deep inside of yourself and ask yourself, who am I? It's really doing pageants and preparing for pageants is like a self-help course, basically. That's basically what it is. And I feel that and I feel like I have truly found myself. I don't know if it's a combination of my age plus pageantry, or I don't know, but I just truly feel like pageantry has helped me find myself. And to me, that's the best part. And also another good thing about pageantry is that you gain sisters and you gain friendships that really, truly last. And I have gained some amazing friends through the Worldwide United Pageant System. Like I told you earlier, I just love those women. They're so sweet and they're genuine. And in pageantry, you don't always find women who are genuine and sweet like that. So that's what I love about pageantry.
Hey, Marge, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Sorry to interrupt you. But I mean, it's a sorority. I mean, it is a sorority. It's like another. It's a non-college version of being there doing community service. The same ideas of a sorority. I mean, I never was in a sorority, so I can't honestly say that. But I think that that's kind of like, I hear from other women that that's the idea, is that it's a way for you to be able to build strong relationships with women that you wouldn't normally have the opportunity to do. So.
And I agree, I do. And I am in a sorority. I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And I joined when I was in college, and honestly, some of those girls, I talk to this day, and they're my sisters because I don't have any biological sisters. I am the only child. I am spoiled. I can admit to that. Um, but yeah, and pageantry is like a sisterhood. It is. It's like a sorority.
Right.
Well,
No.
if you get in the right system, it's like a sorority.
Well, I don't think it. I think every system. I think every system has the right fit. I mean, not to say that they're not the right fit. I mean, I think that there are always going to be like the negative Nancys that are in every system. There's no way to get away from it. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, and this is not woman bashing in any way, but you get a bunch of women together, there's always going to be one person that's just a hater for whatever reason. And so the hope is that with whatever system that you're with, that the system management keeps that in check, number one. Mm-hmm. And number two, that you as a sisterhood can work together to overcome that. Negativity is everywhere, anywhere you are and everywhere you look, and it's true.
Yes. And that's one of the reasons why I started Sash Versation, is because I wanted to, I guess, celebrate women from different, pageant systems. And I think that's important that we all get together and we just uplift one another, because, like I said, we just have so much that's tearing us down.
Right.
And we need positivity. We need more positivity because negativity is everywhere. And if you're not careful, it will really tear you down and really wear on you.
Right. No, and I agree. And that's, and that's people ask me, why do you keep doing this? Or my favorite one are the ones that tell me, okay, I'm retiring. And I'm like, okay, I'll see you in 2 years. If you enjoy it, if you like the positivity of it, if you enjoy the competition, if you enjoy the relationships that you make, if you enjoy the getting up and getting dressed and looking pretty and using your crown in a positive manner, it's something that you can't walk away from easily.
Nope.
So I'm like, I've retired and I've come back, and I've retired and I've come back, and I've retired and I've come back. And, I'm lucky now because, I'm with a great system that I love. And my previous system, I had a great state director, and my previous system before that, I had a great national, international director. So, they're still my friends. So I still work with them. I still promote them. I still, go to events with them and for them. And, for Accomplished American and Accomplished International, I'm on staff. So I not only, help on the board of directors, which I think is important, but I also help to coach any of the title holders that are competing, just because I want to be able to be that positive title holder going forward. But I think that says something is when you want to still be with those people afterwards, and you've got those kinds of, friendships that you get from it. So
honestly, the directors, they are the backbone. I mean, they help hold everything together, and their jobs are not easy. And I commend any director, any pageant director, because I know their jobs are not easy, and they do not always get the glory that they deserve. And I just wish that we could have some type of National Pageant Director Day or something for them, because we
should. I mean, and that's I know any of my pageant director friends that are watching, or will go back and watch this later on. I get asked at least once a month by different systems if I want to become a director for them. Mm-hmm. And I very kindly say, that is so gracious. I'm so grateful that you want to ask me to do that. But no, I will never be a director again. I will promote your pageant for you. I will have your title holders on the show. I will talk about your pageant system. I will get to know you. I'll come and judge for you. Whatever job you want me to do, but I will not be a director because it requires, for those of you that don't understand, a director's job is to coordinate the pageant. So they produce the pageant. They have staff that either do it for them or they do it themselves. So they've got to hire a choreographer. They've got to hire a photographer. They've got to hire someone to do lights and music. They've got to get a venue. They have to get prizes. Then they have to get title holders. Oh, wait. Then they get title holders. And then they've got to manage the title holders to make sure that they all play well together. If it is a miss or teen system, you've got to manage the parents that manage of the title holders that you have, because the parents start to tell you what to do. See, it hurts your head, doesn't it?
It does.
It is a hard job. There is nothing easy about directing a pageant. So for all of the directors out there, I love you dearly. I have directed before. I will not do it again, but you're welcome to have your title holders on anytime you want. Just message me. If you want to come on and be a director and tell us about your job, you can come on and tell us about your job, because we're about all things in pageantry, not just title holders too. So if there's a director out there that wants to come and talk about being a director and it being the hardest job in pageantry, please do. I would love to have you on. All right, last question. Which historical leader do you feel you relate to the most? Mackenzie, good questions today, by the way.
That is a good question. I feel that I relate to Abraham Lincoln a lot, because I feel that he was a trailblazer. I feel like he wasn't scared to do what he felt was right and what he felt he needed to do. And that's just like with Sash.
Right.
Being the founder of Sash, I know what is needed. When I became a classroom teacher and I saw all the things that these girls go through with their self-esteem and how their self-esteem is just torn down, I did what I had to do to make a change. And that's why I feel like I would relate to Abraham Lincoln, because he did what he felt was right. And I know in that time period, you know, what he did, a lot of people did not agree with it, but he thought, you know, he was like, hey, I'm going to go with what I believe in. I'm going to make a change. And he did. Also, like Martin Luther King Jr., with him doing the same thing at Rosa Parks, just making a change.
Right.
Anyone who has made a change in history. And not because it was popular, but because it was in their heart. And that's the main thing.
Well, and I always tell everybody is that change starts with excuse me, sorry, with one stone in the water. So if you drop one stone in the water and it makes a ripple effect, that ripple effect eventually becomes waves. So even though you may not think that the effect that you have right now on one person is positive, you don't know what they're going to do with that, and who they're going to share that positivity with, and then how that shares forward. So change starts with you. If you want different things in the world, you set forward that idea, and then if that idea catches on, even if you're not alive to see, I mean, and honestly, in situations like Abraham Lincoln and also with Martin Luther King Jr., they really didn't get to see the effects of what their lives and the meaning of their lives had. So, you know, ours are not necessarily as big of a change or widespread as that, but they can be important to the people around us. And for me, that's the biggest reason I keep doing pageants, is because my crown represents an opportunity to share my story in hopes of empowering someone else to share their story. So, and that makes a change.
Question.
That was a good question. See? Good job, Mackenzie. Girl, see, I told you. We get teenagers on here that ask really difficult questions, and the adults have to go, I don't know. Like for me, I'm like, what historical leader? And the first thing that comes in my mind is Ellen, and she's not a historical leader. I mean, she is,
Yeah.
In many ways, even in our lifetime, she's made a huge positive effect, for LGBT community, LGBT, but just in equality in general, which again, the same thing with Abraham Lincoln, the same thing with Martin Luther King Jr. We're all equal.
Yeah.
We are all people.
Yeah.
So any person that is out trying to create and establish that equality is huge, and it is really what we should all be wanting for. Hashtag be kind to everybody.
Yeah.
You didn't make them hard, Mackenzie. We appreciate it. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We've taken a whole hour of your life. See, it goes so fast. Doesn't it go fast?
Yes, it does.
It's like, and it's very conversational and comfortable. But we're at an hour. So, with that being said, what would you like to share with everybody about yourself? How can they find you on social media and all that great stuff?
Well, I'm always looking for more women or young girls who would like to truly make a difference in their communities and who are wanting to empower young girls in their communities. I'm looking for you to be a sash ambassador. If you are interested in being a sash ambassador, go to my website, www.sashgirlsrock.com, and there's a place where you can fill out a form to be a sash ambassador. And when I receive your form, I will look over it, and if you are accepted, you will get a welcome packet. And also, I am always looking for title holders to be on Sash Versations, so I can learn about your platform. I love learning about other title holders' platforms because I love learning about what they're doing in their communities to make a difference. So you can also fill out the form and be a guest on Sash Versations on my website as well. And I really have enjoyed being here with you guys today. And I know tomorrow is Monday, but I would like to tell everyone is make the best of tomorrow. Be the best you that you can be tomorrow. When you wake up, tell yourself, I will make a difference today. And like we said, when you're making a difference, you don't always realize it. But just go and be the best you.
That is fantastic, and we are so grateful that you are here and that you are making a positive difference in the world, in your world, in our world. Again, if be the best you, fantastic. Oh, Kenzie, I love you. Isn't it awesome? She's hashtag everything. Hashtag everything. She's awesome. She's fantastic. Kenzie, not to share your story. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Oh, we were just talking. We missed us at the very end. But Mackenzie is hashtags. Mackenzie is one of those girls that caught on to the idea of positivity and wanting to be positive. And so you'll see every now and then she says, Mama Stacy, because there was a time when the Crownies, we would have 200, 300, 400 people on at a time that were regulars that were on every single day because I was doing a show every single day.
Oh, wow.
And they were Crownies and they called me Mama Stacy. Just because, I'm not the typical YouNower either. I don't look like, most of the younger people are on YouNow. It's not a platform that you get 50 somethings. Although Mackenzie will tell you I'm 29.
Yeah.
So, okay. Crownies for life. So, life happens. I know. Well, I used to be on all the time too, and then it just got to the point where I think we were losing that focus of title holders and their stories and being able to focus on the positivity about pageantry. So anyways, I appreciate you guys. All right, my love, thank you so much. I hope you had a great time, and I hope you'll come on again and we'll be able to touch base again. I'd love to hear what happens between now and July and how you do at the pageant. I know Roseanne is going to be a guest on the show as well, so we'll look forward to seeing her there, and that hopefully you will join us and watch as well. And we will look forward to seeing you on another edition of Pageantry Now. Yay!
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Tiffany. Thank you. All All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you may or may not know, we are on every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have shows scheduled now until the middle of March. So if you are a title holder and looking to be able to share your title and share what you do with your title, please message me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or here, PageantryNOW, and ask to be a guest on the show. Also, too, if you're a director and you want to share your system, please let me know. We're happy to have that too. I love everybody, and I'm so grateful that we are becoming a community again. Tomorrow, we do have a very special edition of Pageantry Now at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The newly crowned, who should be being crowned in the next 2 hours or so, Miss Las Vegas America will be on tomorrow night, so you'll get to meet her. 9 p.m. I know it's late. But 6 p.m. Pacific time, because they're in on Pacific time. So 9 p.m. tomorrow night. Look for us so you guys can meet the new Miss Las Vegas, Nevada, who will go on to compete for Miss Nevada America and possibly for Miss America. So look for that tomorrow night. And then next Sunday, we do have another guest on Sunday at 5 p.m. And then the following Saturday, we're doing live coverage. Oh, wait, sorry. Then we're doing a Tuesday night edition. And then Saturday the 10th, we're doing a live pageant live stream. So look for that for the Perfect Glamour International Pageant. So yeah, I know it becomes really busy. Yeah, on a Tuesday night, I know. But we're trying to make sure that we adapt to people's schedules as well. So we're starting to get busy again. So I'm looking forward to that. So make sure that you find us, number one, on YouNow. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at PageantryNOW, or you can go back and watch our shows, and we have live streams as well as live interviews as well as our YouNow interviews on PageantryNOW Media on YouTube. And subscribe, please subscribe. So we appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Thanks, Kenzie, for being here, and we appreciate you. That's a wrap, everybody. Love you too.